Okay, here we are, guys. Jason from the Odd Couple Statue Reviews here for the Collectorverse, meeting with Jerry from Pop Culture Shock, and we're going to reveal something very big that Jerry's been working on. Tell us a little bit before Jerry, before we open it up. What are we going to have a look at today?
This is the latest Mortal Kombat 1/3 statue from Pop Culture Shock. We've done several. We've done Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and we even did Goro last year. And this is by far the most requested character for 1/3. And it's even bigger than Goro in terms of full mass, and that's saying something, because when we did Goro, people were saying, wow,
yeah,
that's
it was huge.
Massive. So let's unveil it, and then I'll talk some more about it.
Let's have a look.
And we will present to you the Shao Khan 1/3 statue.
Wow. Have a look at that, guys. Look at the beauty in that. Look at the level of work in the anatomy. The details are amazing.
This, as in all 1/3 PCS statues to date, is hand sculpted in clay and wax.
Yep.
Not digital. Though I will say some parts we did do digitally, the armor. It doesn't make a lot of sense to try to sculpt armor in clay when digital's a superior format for that.
Yeah.
But as far as the anatomy and everything else, it's all done in clay and wax.
Now, how much time did this take you to do, Jerry?
This was an interesting piece because I actually did this mostly by myself.
Yep.
I started towards the end of January, probably January 20th.
Yep.
And literally glued it together here yesterday.
Wow.
Hadn't even seen it put together until yesterday afternoon.
I think it's safe to say this would have to be up there with some of your finest work today.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I do want to give some credit out to Hive Studio did the concept art.
Yep.
And Justin McMillan did the 3D sculpting for the armor. And Nathan Eakins and Steve Sergioli did the painting, and Sam Solomon did the costuming.
Yep.
So there are a lot of people involved in those aspects.
Now, Mark told me something about this yesterday, that you had a little personal touch that you added with the Dremel drill on the back with the logo.
Yeah, you want to come around and see that?
Come around and have a look at this. Now, keep in mind that this was actually done with a Dremel drill by Jerry's own hand.
So I thought, Shao Kahn's throne is supposed to be carved in stone, right? It's not supposed to be perfectly symmetrical or anything like that. So I thought, you know what? If they were doing that, they would have carved the Mortal Kombat symbol into the back. They wouldn't have 3D printed it as a perfect symbol. So I took a Dremel and I actually carved it out of the plaster that I used. It wasn't even clay. This was the resin casting.
It's got goosebumps.
I took the resin casting and carved it out of the resin casting. So it's actually not even in the mold.
I mean, like the level of the detail, even in the back of this statue, is amazing. Where you see a lot of manufacturers these days, they cheap out on the back because it's not going to be seen.
Right.
And that's what I was going to say about your work that I've noticed, Jerry. That the attention to detail 360 around your pieces are absolutely amazing. So
I appreciate that. I tried to
even
find
the skulls, like
some balance between the hammer and the skulls, and I have to admit I'm pretty happy with it. Of course, like with everything I've ever done, in 6 months I'm going to hate it. That's just the way I am.
Oh, because then you're going to build something better,
right?
Of course.
But honestly, I'm very happy with it. Everybody came through. I think it's great.
And what was your inspiration for this piece? Was it any particular games, or?
Well, it is based on. Is it Mortal Kombat 2? I guess Shao Khan is. Is that the first one he's on the throne?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So, sorry. Sometimes.
Yeah. There's so many. There's so many of them. Was it Mortal Kombat 12 or something now? So yeah.
Based on Mortal Kombat 2. In that game, of course, they're pretty low res sprites, even though it was live actors being filmed. So there's a lot of interpretation as to what the throne really would have looked like. Hive really helped develop the concept from pixels to here. So big shout out to them for that.
And we don't have a set PO date as yet. But Omar Emperor would be very keen to know when you're going to put it up, because I guarantee he'll be getting it day one. So shout out to you, Omar.
Well, it looks a lot. He's jacked like Omar.
He is jacked like Omar. Omar loves to hit the weights a bit and pump himself up like it.
But yeah, no, I think he'll dig it. He'll dig it a lot. Maybe we should do a variant head for Omar.
We'd probably. If you did one just for him, he'd love that. Yeah. Now, some of these other pieces you've got here too, Jerry.
Oh, I do want to say. There will be some light up features on this that we're not ready for the show.
Yep.
But there are some, I don't want to give them away. We figure at this point.
It's not the finalized, but you're still putting the finishing touches to it.
Yeah, I'd say it's 97%, but, you know, visually. But there will be some light up, and I might tweak a few little things. It is definitely one of those.
Yeah. And also, Mark was saying that this would look absolutely fantastic with like your third scale Scorpion and Sub-Zero on either side of him.
Yeah. And Goro behind him. Goro's actually taller because Goro's standing up and Kahn is sitting down.
And I mean, the muscle definition, I mean, that's what you're most famous for, like your anatomy work, and that is second to none. So, I mean, I'm very, very impressed with this piece.
Appreciate that. I try to have a style for anatomy. I mean, it's based in reality, but I try not to go too ripped. Like everybody these days seems to sculpt ultra ripped, where you can see every
especially some of the custom makers and that.
And while I appreciate the technique and the skill involved, I feel sometimes it makes the piece look a little flat. So I like to save. I like to have some less ripped areas and then save the rip for certain areas. So he has a very similar feel to Sagat in that.
Yeah, I love the staff too. Really nice touch too.
That is one thing I'm going to change. We're actually going to make the topless staff bigger.
Yep.
It feels a little small. I want the ball to be as big as his head now that I've seen it all put together. So we'll change that next week.
So there you go, guys. A couple of little changes that Jerry's hinting at that he's going to make. So
we're always trying to make it better.
Yeah.
You know, if you put something together and you see some things you can improve, just do it.
And the other thing that I've seen here at your little booth that's really got me excited is your Judge Dredd you have over here. I know you've already revealed it, but mate, best Judge Dredd yet that we've seen.
Well, we appreciate that.
By a country mile. Really, I mean, you can see from the level of artwork in it, if you come over and have a peek this, Adrian.
I do want to.
And the exclusive comes with the coat from the comic as well, from the Judgment Day War.
Yes. I do want to give credit to Justin McMillan, who basically headed this project up. He sculpted Dredd. I think 100% himself. I think he all digital, and I'm pretty sure Justin did that one 100% himself. With art direction by myself, and concept art was by Conceptopolis, which is art direction studio.
So that's what you usually you put out the concept art to be done by someone else, and then work off the concept art for your sculpt.
Yes. Having said that, we never stick to the concept art 100% because 2D to 3D, you always see things that you're like, well, let's change that up a little. So it has to be an organic process. If it's too rigid, you just kind of lose the life of stuff.
Yeah.
You can put the stuff into right versus name.
And this Raiden that you have, and the Dragon, like absolutely amazing. This is just been sculpted, I've been told.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go over and we're going to go and have a look at the Dragon from Dungeons and Dragons that they're just bringing out.
Maybe it was
This is arguably one of the most famous dragons in Dungeons and Dragons history. And I think you're really going to open yourself up to a couple of new million customers with the Dungeons and Dragons series.
We're hoping. So I've been a Dungeons and Dragons fan my whole life. I was playing when I was 8 years old. And this was sort of a dream license for me. the negotiations on this license took forever. We thought we would have been able to show this, show pieces last WonderCon. We started negotiating this license in 2016. That's how long it took.
Well, I was going to say, you don't actually see very many Dungeons and Dragons statues out there.
That's why it took so long.
Yeah.
They actually told me, I swear to God, this is true. They said, we don't, we haven't done official statues and collectibles and stuff because we don't really trust a lot of people's interpretations. But
that says a lot. They trust you, Jerry.
They said that they ran my proposal by the art department, and the creative department said, we're familiar with their work. Okay, let's go forward with this one. So
excellent.
Thrilled, flattered, everything you can imagine.
And Mark was saying you may be considering doing the chain of heroes from the old animated series and stuff like that as well.
Oh yeah, I mean,
so that's a trip down memory lane for me. I'll be definitely getting some of them.
This is intended to be a very big, broad line encompassing big creatures, smaller statues, the cartoon. I mean, jumping into this is like a dream come true.
I mean, like, even the detail, like in the castle, guys, and the scales on the dragon and everything you can see, it's absolutely amazing. Like once this thing's painted, it's going to be like off the hook.
Yeah, I do want to. The sculptor on this is Gail, and I can't pronounce Gail's last name. It's very long, so I apologize, Gail. He's a very talented sculptor. That's who sculpted this. I art directed it, and Conceptopolis again did the concept for this.
Yeah.
Sorry,
and this is 3D printed.
And this is it was done all digitally, and this is a 3D print. And I'll tell you, we spent months trying to figure out how big to make it, because that's one of the things you get spoiled with 3D is you're like, I could make this any size I want.
Yeah, because you can do it all in segments. Yeah.
Right. So at first we were thinking even bigger, but then Dungeons and Dragons people, fans of Dungeons and Dragons and fantasy things like this aren't generally used to super high price point items.
Yeah.
So we thought, well, let's try to make it to where it's, I hate to use the word affordable because it's still expensive, or it will be, but let's make sure it's not $2,000 or something.
Well, I was going to
really
actually say
crazy.
with your pieces, Jerry, that as large as they are affordable. Like in the larger scale, like when you look at like in the scale of like say Prime 1 and stuff like that, yours very much are affordable.
PCS does try its best to keep the price.
And from what Mark was saying, you're constantly taking more steps to try and bring the costs down for your collectors, particularly with shipping costs.
Yes, and sometimes the steps, they add a little bit to the weight, which we apologize for, but sometimes you have to give a little bit. But I don't think there's no announced price on this yet, so I don't want to speak. I know what we've talked about, but I don't want to say anything yet. But it will probably be less than you think it will be. I will say that.
Fair enough.
But it really is. Gail did an amazing job. Everybody, and I can't wait to see it painted.
Me either.
We're hoping to have it painted for the show, but that didn't work out because this is going to be like a 2-week paint.
Minimum.
Yeah. I mean, if you haven't zoomed into the base, as much as I love the dragon, I love the base just as much. It's a very
that's what I was pointing out. Yeah, the level of work in the battlements and stuff like that is absolutely amazing.
Even around the back where no one's going to look, there's like a little thing down there.
It's one of the problems with what I say about your artworks, Jerry, that from the back, like the part that no one's going to see, you still put the same amount of work and effort into it, which is exemplary.
Very, very thrilled about Dungeons and Dragons in general. I mean, it's very, very exciting.
I have a question from the viewers. They're asking if Tiamat is going to be coming.
Tiamat?
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Tiamat is the most famous dragon, but we didn't want to start there. We kind of wanted to do a build. So yes, absolutely, for sure. I can't say when, but for sure it will happen.
And we have some more Mortal Kombat pieces over here that you've got on display. What can you tell us about this lovely piece here?
So we have the Quan Chi from Mortal Kombat X, which is actually in stock at the warehouse, and you can order it and have it in a few days, I believe. I'm really proud of it. I think it came out really great. I'm going to embarrass myself by saying I don't remember who sculpted it. It's because it was sculpted like 2 years ago now.
Yeah. I mean, you deal with that many sculptors.
Someone good. I will say that. I love the detail on the chest and skull.
Yeah, actually, if you want to come around and have a look at this, you have a look at like the quad piece and the chest piece and that, like the level of detail in it, absolutely amazing. And the Shao Khan,
Absolutely. Which just started shipping, I believe, from the warehouse. I sculpted that one. This one has a little bit of an interesting story in that I had hired someone else to sculpt it, someone new who had never sculpted in collectibles before. Talented person. But it just didn't, it looked way too rough. It looked like a piece of fine art, like you'd want to make it into a bronze.
Yep.
It didn't look like a collectible. So we just put it on, we paid the person, and we put it on a shelf. And then I had like 3 weeks to get this done, because we had a PO date we had to keep.
Yep.
So myself and then Justin McMillan on the armor, we tag teamed this and just like, 3 weeks of really chaotic work to get this done.
And this Raiden, mate, that is absolutely amazing. And it's got the LED features as well in the lightning and that as well. So
does Shao Khan. He has LEDs in his eyes.
Yeah, you can actually see them lit up there.
Are they lit up?
Lit up? Yeah.
Lit up now. It's hard to see in this light. Also, you know what? I think they left the lights on all night and the batteries are dying.
Oh no. Well, actually, yeah, Mark was saying they were going to put the rain on, but they didn't want to the batteries run down or anything like that.
Because Shao Kahn's eyes were way brighter yesterday.
Yeah, actually, when I saw him yesterday, it was pretty bright.
I think that's what happened. But he's available right now in the warehouse if anybody digs him.
And what about Raiden? When is he available now, or?
Excuse me. This Raiden is available for pre-order.
Yep.
I don't know when it's supposed to ship. I shouldn't guess at it then. This is, I believe it was John Cleary and Justin McMillan both worked on this. Concept by Conceptopolis. And honestly, you know what? I only had a little bit of hand in this as the art direction because I was in the middle of a personal move from Los Angeles to Las Vegas, so I didn't have time. And they knocked it out of the park, right? They don't need me anymore. These guys are
I love how the lightning is exploding out of the base and you shattering the back of the base.
That took a long time for them to figure out because they had to add the rocks for stability, or else the thin lightning pieces would start to bend.
Yeah, so, and you get heat and they start to warp. And
so the lightning was revised like I think 3 or 4 times before they found the right place for it. But
it's
I love
definitely the right place now.
I love this piece.
Yeah.
You know, it goes with the even though it's a classic Raiden, it's in the style of the Mortal Kombat X Scorpion and Sub-Zero that we did over the past 2 years with the very detailed bases.
Yeah.
Because a lot of our stuff has the black base, the classic kind of museum base, but enough fans have been vocal that they want us to also do detailed, crazy.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, actually, that's what I've noticed. Some of your earlier pieces have just got the simplistic base, and it's more the work on the actual statue. Look at the art piece rather than the base. But now you're really lifting the levels on the base as well, So.
I want to give a shout out to my friend Brian over at XM, who inspired us to design this because of all the amazing stuff XM does with their bases.
Yeah, they do.
Brian and I are really close, and we're always talking on Facebook about what are you doing? What are you doing? This was kind of our little, hey, we're going to do something that XM would have done with Mortal Kombat.
Oh, cool.
And I think it came out really great.
So that's great to hear that, when companies are collaborating like that as well, because we're all collectors.
Most of us are friends. I mean, I'm super good friends with Paul over at Chronicle, and of course I'm good friends with everybody at Sideshow. I've known Tom at Sideshow since '89.
Wow.
Yeah.
One of the viewers was asking, will there be others like this Raiden?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, in fact, they're in progress.
Is there anything you can talk about that you're conceptually working on at the moment, or?
You know what?
Or things
nothing that I can actually be specific about. But I will say that there's 2 more Mortal Kombats in this line being worked on, probably for debut at San Diego is my guess. But
Excellent.
now that I'm more focused on the art department, I'm not 100% in the loop on release dates, PO dates, and stuff like that. Thankfully, I don't want to be in the loop. I'm okay with that. I just want to work on art. But yeah, no, I mean, Mortal Kombat is alive and well. I mean, you know, and there's a new game, and hey, you may see some stuff from the new game, right?
I've got a personal question for you, Jerry. The work that you do, is exemplary. You've got a broad range of characters and that you work with. What is the character you would love to do the most that you haven't done yet?
It's just, I've been trying to get the license since the late 90s, which is Gotcha Man, Battle of the Planets.
Oh yes, yep.
I'm not sure what it's called down under.
I think it was still called Battle of the
Was it?
Planets.
Was it? In the States, it was Battle of the Planets as well, but most of the world was Gotcha Man.
Yeah.
And that's my absolute, other than Micronauts, Gotcha Man's my absolute favorite thing in the world.
Yep.
And I've never been able to get, they just have never given it to me. And I put it off.
Never give up hope, Jerry.
Every few
As you
years.
just saw, you got your Dungeons and Dragons ones after waiting for a while.
I didn't think that would happen, but that did. So hey, maybe one day Gotcha Man. But yeah,
I think when people see work like this that you're bringing out, I think people might be coming knocking on your door saying, "What license do you want?"
Fingers crossed. Let's hope.
But Jerry, look, thank you very much for your time today, buddy.
It.
Thank you very much for the reveal.
Thank you,
and we
everybody.
look very much forward to all of your work that you have coming up in the future. And our collectors also, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys.